This is VOA News. I'm Marissa Melton. Bolivian President Evo Morales announced his resignation in a televised address Sunday after weeks of protests around irregularities in last month's elections. Earlier in the day, he had agreed to call new elections after the Organization of American States released the results of its audit into the October 20th vote, which Morales narrowly won. The OAS found irregularities in nearly every area in which it reviewed. But within hours, Bolivia's military chief, General Williams Kaliman, said holding a new election was not enough. He asked President Morales to resign. The announcements by Kaliman and the OAS led to the resignation of several senior ministers, as well as the head of the Supreme Electoral Tribunal. The United States welcomed the decision to hold a new vote. U.S. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer held a news conference Sunday to make the case for public hearings in the presidential impeachment inquiry. He said the public deserves access to the process.
I hope the public will see, impeachment is a very serious matter. The founding fathers said it was a very serious matter, and so it ought to be public.
He said people should be allowed to draw their own conclusions about the president.
I think it's a good idea to make the hearings public, and people will then have to make their decisions.
Iran's leader says a massive new oil field has been uncovered in the southwestern region of the country. President Hassan Rouhani says the field has 53 billion barrels of crude oil and could boost the country's oil reserves by a third. Iran's state TV is reporting that construction has begun on a second nuclear power reactor at its Bushehr plant amid heightened tensions over Tehran's collapsing nuclear deal with world powers. Authorities began pouring concrete for the base of the reactor on Sunday. Bushehr's first reactor came online in 2011 with Russia's help. This new reactor will also be built with Russian help. VOA News. A food assessment in October finds 1 million of the nearly 3.7 million people in Haiti are in danger of facing famine. VOA's Lisa Schlein reports from Geneva.
A food assessment in October finds 1 million of the nearly 3.7 million people suffering food shortages in Haiti are facing an emergency and are on the brink of famine. The World Food Programme reports food insecurity in Haiti's rural areas has increased by 15% since the last analysis in December. For the first time, the assessment shows 850,000 people in the capital Port-au-Prince are suffering severe hunger, with many not sure when they will eat again. To compound this dramatic situation, WFP spokesman Hervé Ferruso says humanitarian agencies' efforts to reach people in need have been hampered by security problems during the past 7 weeks. Lisa Schlein for VOA News, Geneva.
Iran says an open revolutionary court case involving an ex-FBI agent who disappeared in the country 12 years ago is a missing persons case, nothing more. AP correspondent Ben Thomas.
Robert Levinson disappeared from Iran's Kish Island on March 9, 2007. 6 years later, the AP revealed Levinson had in fact been on a mission for CIA analysts who had no authority to run spy operations. Now, in a filing to the United Nations, Iran is acknowledging the case. But at a press briefing, a foreign ministry spokesman calls it a humanitarian issue involving a missing person and says there is no judicial or criminal case whatsoever. Ben Thomas, Washington.
At least 13 people were killed and many fishermen remain missing on Sunday as Cyclone Bulbul hit the coasts of Bangladesh and India. Nearly 2 million people from all of Bangladesh's coastal district gathered in cyclone shelters in preparation for the storm. Authorities said the cyclone slammed ashore at Sagar Island in the southern part of India's West Bengal state. The cyclone season in the Bay of Bengal can last from April to December, but increased evacuation measures have kept death tolls relatively low in recent years. Cambodia released opposition leader Kum Sukar from house arrest. He was arrested 2 years ago and charged with treason. Sukar's release came a day after self-exiled Cambodian opposition leader Sam Rainsy arrived in Malaysia in his attempt to return to Cambodia. And Japan's Emperor Naruhito and Empress Masako waved and smiled from an open car in a parade on Sunday, marking Naruhito's enthronement. Hundreds of thousands of delighted well-wishers cheered. Marissa Melton, VOA News.